Tony, look, here we go.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Look at this guy.
There's another Cowboy fan in here. Got it.
No. Surrounded.
He's the enemy.
That's what we do,
can
baby.
only get away.
That's why Kyle got the blue phone. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys.
Wow.
You feel me?
It's too all no.
Set on camera. Don't stop.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Don't stop. Yeah, don't stop filming that. It calls you out. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tim Marshall. Welcome to R&B Showcase, the show that takes you over, under, and through the decades with the best in classic to contemporary R&B, Motown, pop, soul, jazz, and blues, featured artists, and special guests. We've got some special guests in the building, but before we introduce our special guests, I want to introduce our co-hosts coming at you from 106.5 FM, from the heart and soul of Center City, Philadelphia. Mr. Julian Seward is joining us.
Always a pleasure, Tim.
Tell us about your show, Julian.
So my show is my bittersweet philosophy. It's kind of a piece of my mentality placed to a playlist.
And he comes on your way every Sunday from 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
On 106.5. Lock it in, yo. Next, we got Mr. Kyle Maack, recording artist, one of the first artists signed to Dr. Otis Williams 1030 International Records. He's also one of our producers here on the R&B Showcase. Kyle Maack is in the building.
What up, man? How you doing?
What's happening, Kyle?
I'm good.
And we got the man that knows the dates, the times, the locations. Music historian, Mr. Kevin White is here.
Thank you, Tim.
Let's give these gentlemen a round of applause, our co-hosts of the show.
Are we clapping for ourselves?
Yes, we are. Yes.
Okay.
We're going to do that.
Okay.
And don't let me forget our producer, Daniel Kane. Give it up for Daniel Kane.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
While you got your hands together, folks, we got a special event happening here today. As the late, great Motown legend Richard Street once said, I want you to fasten your seatbelts and get ready, because we're going to take you uptown, downtown, all across town, straight up into Motown, the Motor City, 2648 West Grand Boulevard, the birthplace of Motown Records. We're having a conversation with the Temptations. The Temptations are here. We want you to welcome to the show Grammy Award-winning recording artist, Mr. Terry Weeks.
Yeah. Thank you, fellas.
And also joining us, actor, recording artist, and current lead singer of the Temptations, Mr. Tony Grant is here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
An avid Eagles fan.
Yes. He's an Eagles. Did I mention he was an Eagles fan?
He's a huge Eagles fan.
That's beautiful that y'all are dreaming right now. It's beautiful. But I got to put my voice on like y'all the radio voice. You know? I can't stand them Eagles.
Okay.
But it's all right. Go ahead.
for those who are listening at home who are not watching it yet, but we have decorated the studio with a bunch of Eagles gear per Tony's request.
Correct.
A special request.
Yeah, and
for our special guest here today.
Then you got the choked out chicken over here to my left. Represent the Eagles, you know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
No,
Tony's on it, you know.
Oh, yes, sir. Come on now.
Tony is a diehard Cowboys fan through and through.
Yes.
I don't know what would possess him to ever do that.
Wow. You went there.
Well, okay. All right. Well, it was great, Tony. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. All right. I'm glad we're recording this.
I wasn't going to say anything, but have you ever heard of a young man by the name of Jalen Hurts? I just want to know if you heard of him.
He's hurt right now. I understand.
Okay.
His feelings are hurt that I am in the building.
Y'all gonna be laying on the couch this year, guaranteed.
Yeah, we gonna lay on the couch
watching us.
We gonna lay on our stomachs and clap at the TV. That's right. Get them boys. Get them boys.
Terry wants no part of this.
Hey, let the games begin.
Okay.
So let's begin. Let's go back to the beginning. First of all, I want to congratulate you guys on an excellent performance last night. I mean, I've got a chance to see you guys going back to the days of David Ruffin and Eddie Kendricks. You're still a fantastic show. I mean, it just gets better and better and better. So give it up for these guys. Absolutely. I mean, on that performance, my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I got a chance to see you do I'm Losing You. And you threw down on that song with Tony Grant. And then, of course, Terry Weeks on Since I Lost My Baby. I mean,
triumphant return of that song.
I'm still looking for it.
Yeah, looking for yes.
No, you don't understand. Kyle and I have been begging for
really
to come back.
Wow.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yes, you made that
good song. One of the all-time great classics.
Hold on. Terry just said something Terry said, we guess that we made that happen. Was something that was interesting was like when Terry started singing Since I Lost My Baby Again in the show, you didn't have the part at the end where it was like the dramatic part where you get down on your knees.
Yes.
And I reminded Otis about that. I was like, man, I love Terry singing this song, but I wish you would do it. Otis said he forgot all about it.
We did. We actually, man, there's so many songs.
Right.
And you interchange, you know. It just depends on the audience. We try and tailor it to the audience.
And then he said, we're going to put that right back in the show. And then here you go.
Bam. It's so great to see you perform, man. And even going back to, I remember when you first joined the group back in 19, whatever that was, right? And you were sitting, I think you were sitting on the stool back then.
Yes,
and then that first show, you actually came out into the crowd and walked out down the escalator like a regular. I said, isn't that the same guy that was on the stage, you know?
Let's kick this thing off.
But man, it was fantastic. And I'm so, take us back to your beginnings. How did you become a member of the Temptations?
You know, none of it was planned. Per the prerequisite for being in the group, I didn't fit the mold. Okay. I don't like to call myself short. I don't think of it as short, but when you're around these trees, you know, the shrubs are down there. But it just started that way, man, just purely by chance. I ran into Mr. Williams on the street corner, Cherokee, Hollywood and Cherokee, 1989.
Wow.
Saw him in a shoe store, came out, man, you got a minute, I sang something for him. He exchanged numbers with us. We're thinking, you know, I'm thinking this the brush off. I never met anyone that was, you know, a star. And so later that day, he called twice and left a message. He said, look, man, like what I heard, you know, call me. Doesn't matter what time you get in, just call me. And that's when we had answering machines. We're looking at the machine. We're like, well, what do we do? I was like, look, we're going to call him back for one thing. You know, called him back, man. He was such a down person. I was like, is this the same guy I just met earlier? And come to find out, his wife at the time was from my hometown. And that connection came about, man, and they haven't gotten rid of me since. You know, it's been a bad wart on his butt, man. You can't get rid of it.
Is there a secret to that? Because, there's no secret at all that the Temptations have had a higher personnel change rate than a lot of other groups. So what is the secret for longevity?
You know, consistency.
Yeah.
You know, because I always say, man, lightning can strike anyway. But to be consistent shows depth. You know, and that's what I judge it by, you know. And every night's different for me. And it's a challenge every night. It never ends.
Never the same.
Absolutely never ends. Because look at what came before me. Come on.
Right.
And being honest, you know, we're not going to do any better than that. You know, and I look at myself as a caretaker right now. We're preserving this legacy and trying to push it forward, even year 2025 and however long it is, we're just trying to push it forward into, and it's crazy that you would never think you would have a new Temptations fan. Right. They're there. They're the children of prior. But it's just a wonderful experience for myself. And every day is different. I look forward to it. Especially when I see Mr. Williams step on that stage. No complaints from me. Man. I'm all smiles. Let's go forward and conquer, man. Let's get another one under our belt and make it happen.
Tony, what shoe store were you walking out of when you joined the Temptations?
Well, I was actually on the corner and I was getting $2.50. But, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Just joking. Just kidding. No, I wasn't on any corner whatsoever. I was actually about to board a flight because before I was singing with the Temptations, I was singing lead for the group Chicago. And so as I was getting ready to board a flight, my wife said, somebody just texted me and said, it's urgent that I get in touch with your husband. I was like, who is it? She's like, it's a number. I don't know who it is. I said, don't you answer that. I don't know these people. Don't answer it. She's like, and before I got ready to get out the car, she said, baby, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to answer this. I said, do what you want to, but I don't want no parts of that. So I got on the flight, and when I landed, I got these 911 messages, and I'm like, what the world? So I immediately called home, and she's like, you're not going to believe this. I said, believe what? She said, Otis Williams of the Temptations looking for you. I said, girl, now you know what? Stop. You always got jokes. And then she's like, no, really, Otis. I talked to Otis. I said, you might have talked to somebody named Otis, but you ain't talked to no Otis Williams of the Temptations. She said, I did. I'm going to give you his number. Call him. I said, I'm not. Come on now. I called him up, and he started talking all smooth and everything. And I was like, come on, man. You trying to get me. and as we finished our conversation, he said something that really threw me. He has this thing where he says, all right, young man, see you later, gone. Mm-hmm. And when he said it, I said, don't nobody say that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, we want to fly you to Florida. And they were out on tour. And I was like, maybe I might need to bring my security because this might be a setup. But I went. And when I got there, first of all, I saw all these thousands of people at this place. And then when I got there and saw them, I was just like, y'all know who y'all are? I became a fan immediately. And I was just like, oh my God. And I'll tell you the craziest part is the woman that called my wife, Otis and I both spoke with her, but we've never met her. We've never seen her. We don't know what she looks like. Nothing. Wow. Never seen her. So it's totally God gift.
Right. Absolutely.
Straight up God ordained.
Come on.
So we just give thanks for it every night and look forward to it every night. Like Terry said, it's a different crowd. So it's a different experience for us each night. So, and we just want to go out there and be a blessing, man, and continue the legacy and the gift that God gave those 5 brothers back in the day when they were at Motown.
It's very awesome to see, and Tony, you had mentioned it after the show yesterday. This collective, this lineup that you have now, it is so apparent and obvious to everyone that you guys really like each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the chemistry of that like for each other really shows off on stage.
Yes,
the
really.
energy is so fantastic. And does that type of stuff take work? I mean, you guys are on the road with each other all the time. And then like when I was on tour with in the Air Force, we liked each other, but we didn't like each other that much because we never got away from each other.
Right.
So what does it take?
Well, it's we have the same goal.
Yes.
See, that sums it up right there. If we got the same goal, we look, man, we want to make this the best we can make it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's gonna take all 5 of us to do that. And I'm dealing with such talented cats, man. And when Tone and Juwan came in, it just add water and stir. Okay.
Yeah.
And start drinking, man. And surprised me because I've been through a few changes.
Right.
You know,
Right. And I would have to add to that. I would like, as much as we admire each other from a gifting standpoint, we also admire each other from a personal standpoint.
Yes.
Everybody has loving hearts and great personalities.
God-fearing man.
And yeah, God-fearing man. But one of the thing that myself and Juwan have done is humble ourselves to look at the hierarchy. We look at Ron as the second in charge, Otis as the lead. Then we look at Terry as right there.
See, in doing that, they've energized us.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
We play our position, and then however we can encourage them to continue to lead, that's what we do.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing because I mean, it's not always the case.
Right. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in a group and it wasn't that before.
Yeah.
Interesting thing though that Juwan Jackson's when we had him on the show not too long ago, he said Terry Weeks was his favorite singer.
You know,
Yeah.
well, I've always wanted to be a bass. Well, I've always. But
He was in all of you guys. I mean, joining the group.
Man,
you know?
these guys, man, just energized myself and Otis and Ron.
You look like you're having fun up there on stage.
are.
You know, you're having
We
a
are.
ball. It's like a party. You know?
I didn't know it was showing that well.
It does
Yeah,
show.
but
It
is.
shows. You can
Absolutely
tell.
is, man.
You can tell. You know.
The personal interaction
Yes.
is there on a
Absolutely.
level that I've never seen. And you
I've
know,
never
I've
seen
been
like
coming
that.
to shows
Right,
for
forever.
years,
Yeah.
right? And there's just like the way you look at each other or the way you'll come together and sing together. It's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what I love about it is we don't bring our trouble to the stage.
No.
So when that music hits, and we're on the side of the stage around the mic, and that music hits, all troubles, all of life's stuff just goes away. And there's
Got
this
one goal at the
energy that kicks in.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you know what? Let's go. And I don't know if y'all can hear, I'm loud on the stage. I'm talking. I'm talking, and I'm like, let's go.
Some of the things we can't repeat.
You step away from the mic.
No, I'm away from the mic when I'm talking.
But Terry, you talk about the guys that come before. You know that you came into this already established group and you brought more hits to the group. Phoenix Rising is the largest selling album
Of
in
all
the
time.
history of the group. Come on, you know.
That was such a beautiful experience to step into initially.
Yeah, that's
You know?
a blessing.
Oh man,
You hit the ground running with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
and it's an anomaly.
And then came back with the Grammy 2001 for Irresistible.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
you know?
yes. Total experience.
Keeping it going, taking the legacy and moving it further, you know?
That, man, didn't expect that,
Mhm.
but I will take it
Mhm.
all day,
Yeah.
every day.
Yes, sir.
That was a pleasure, just having the ability to, hey, look, I know you're part of this group, which I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I'll
me
always be a fan. When I speak of the group, I'm speaking of them, not me.
Right.
I can't include myself because I'm
Right.
still putting work in,
Mhm.
and that's just my attitude about it, man. But to be from, but to come into this group, green, still
Mhm.
green. I consider myself still green, but to reach those heights, and honestly, when we went on Soul Train,
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
come on, and I had made it then.
Now, weren't you on there with Lovers Only? You were on there with
Right.
them too,
I
right?
was about to say that.
That, and that was driven by Otis also.
For those who don't know, For Lovers Only was the group that Otis put around
Right,
you
absolutely.
after you auditioned
Yes,
for him.
yes,
And so that was the group that you were in that preceded The Temptations.
Oh man, and we sang a little bit on some temp stuff. I won't
Okay.
mention the album. Or
I will.
anything,
I'll just.
but the public doesn't know.
Oh yeah, I mean it's funny because all right, I won't mention the album or the songs if you don't want me to, but I could hear you.
Yes,
I could hear listening.
Got a distinct voice.
Yeah, I could hear you amongst the harmony. By the way,
Right,
and it was like that sounds like a Terry harmony on a song that preceded his actual entrance into the group.
I know.
So it always made sense.
Well, it was
I'm
crazy
hearing
because I still, up until the moment I stepped in the group, I still felt like I didn't belong, and it was like just put the work in, continue, just put the work in. Don't look at the work. Just keep pushing
So funny.
forward.
Wow.
How long
That's
does
so
it
funny.
is there like an amount of time that passes before joining the group to having that mentality that makes you like I feel like a Temptation now?
I haven't reached that
I
yet.
haven't eaten.
No,
Haven't
Not
got
at
there
all.
yet. Yeah.
really.
No. Well, and because the groundwork was laid so well, you try to figure out how you fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Without diminishing yourself and saying, "Hey, I'm just a work for hire."
Right. How do I cover
How do
this
you-
and infuse a little bit of me also
Right.
without taking away from that?
Correct.
It's interesting to hear you say that, Terry. I mean, almost. I mean, if your tenure in the group was personified, it would be able to drink by now. And you have Grammys, a Grammy and Grammy nominations, and all these accomplishments. So it's funny to hear you say that. I understand for Tony, you've been in the group for what, a little over 2 years now. So I don't know. Hopefully that comes.
You know what?
Hopefully it will.
You know what?
Put in enough work.
I'll tell you what trumps that and what blesses people to be able to say, "Hey, they're still the Temptations."
Yeah.
We were able to tap into the spirit that was already laid, that was already there. And when we came in, and that spirit was so big, so when you come in, you can't come in thinking singular.
Right.
It's not Tony and the Temptations. Like
Right.
it wasn't
Right.
ever David Ruffin and the Temptations.
No.
Right.
Exactly.
It's the brand and the spirit, the Temptations. So when with Terry's voice, he just fell right in. It just elevated it even more to different ears. You know what I'm saying?
I love the way you put it. I was watching this interview that you did. Excuse me. And you mentioned how you were speaking to your son. He didn't
Yes.
quite understand the legacy
Correct.
of the Temps. And you
Correct.
said how it's like you have heaven and you have everlasting life.
Correct.
And you surpass heaven.
You surpass
just go straight
heaven.
to everlasting life. And
Correct.
this is the epitome.
That's right.
Is it still, surreal in that way?
Most definitely.
How does it feel for you now if you can ever,
It's the exact.
personify it?
If there was anything other than everlasting life, it'd be that.
Whoa.
It's exactly that, and then
That's
that's
amazing.
because again, each night we pray before we go on stage.
Yeah.
But what I get and what I see when I'm performing, to see people crying and remembering, what the music did for them when they were younger, whatever it brought them through. However, if a loved one may have passed, it made them remember the good times, all that. Man, that's gratification for. I can go to heaven right now. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm good because it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, because I've been at this for a long time.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of theater where I've seen thousands of people and they're laughing at foolishness. I mean, I'm just keeping 100.
Yeah.
They're laughing at foolishness or the demise of someone else in a story. But with this, your laughter comes from remembering, and there's something deep embedded inside of you, a love through the music, and the dialogue, the lyrics within the music is so phenomenal. It's just like, I'm just glad to be a part of it, and that God chose me to be a part
Just a
of it.
vessel.
Who would argue with ball of confusion speaks about what's
Today,
happening
right?
right now.
That's
Right.
true.
Today.
Yeah.
Still relevant today,
Absolutely.
too.
Totally.
Yes. Yes.
Totally valid.
Absolutely.
So Terry, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but a song that we listen to a lot is a song called "A Toast to My Friend"
Oh yeah.
yeah.
from the Big Bully soundtrack.
Yes, yes.
How did that fall into things? Where does that come in the timeline? This stuff?
You also you didn't go by your name either.
No, not at
voice.
that time.
voice.
I was a solo artist at that time.
Okay. Did that follow for Lovers Only or precede?
Preceded it.
Okay.
Yeah, preceded it. What had happened was during the time I met Otis and Melvin and all that, that's when Melvin got sick. And that's when he eventually his demise came.
Right.
And we were at the hospital, and Otis had mentioned me recording with the Temps, and I was like, "Wow, whoa!" I think it was on Scotty Brothers.
Yeah,
Of
because
that
it was on a soundtrack to
Yeah,
a movie.
and he mentioned it, and I said, "Wow!" I said, I'm down for it," but I was totally shocked, man.
Right.
I'm in there with the actual Temptations. And I'm like, wow, because Richard was in there also.
Oh,
and also he was on that recording, and I was in there, man. I was like, wow, I should not be in this room. I was just in awe of everything and the whole process, and the reason why we was there was to honor, Blue.
Right.
And I was down for that, and that was a total honor for me. That record right now stands number one for me.
Nice.
Really?
Forget the hits, forget all that. For me, honoring him that way, that's a blessing for me.
So when you're recording that song and you're essentially doing a lead duet with Ollie Woodson,
Yes.
and how? But where's your mental state there?
I've always looked up to him, and he's shown me different things as far as singing that helped me along the way. And I just took it as look, although you don't think you should be here, you're here. Just
awesome,
do the
man.
best you can with it, and see what the work speaks. Let it speak for itself.
So
I don't do a whole lot. I don't want to do a whole lot of talking. Especially I'm in a room with all this talent, this history. It's like, wow, unbelievable.
So to record that with him, and then only a few years later to come behind him
Again, purely by chance,
Right.
just being around. When Ollie got sick,
right?
and he came back, and then he left and went back, and O came to me. He said, "Can you dance?" Dude, what do you want to dance to? I said, I told him, I said, I'll show you. I said, I won't talk about it. I said, you tell me after we get done.
Right.
And balls to the wall.
That's
Make
crazy.
it happen. I was already prepared.
You can certainly throw down, though, brother.
Oh, yes,
Coming
sir.
from Tops and Blue, I was totally
there we go.
Yes, there you go.
totally
There you go.
prepared.
Yes.
I was about to mention
Oh, man.
you and Kyle
Yes,
have
yes,
a
Yes, connection, yes.
Man, Tops and Blue taught me everything I needed to know. They didn't know that, but I was ready for it.
Thompson
Kyle
Blue.
know.
Thompson Blue was the Air Force's elite expeditionary entertainment unit, where we went. I know my tour was different than yours.
Right.
You had two tours in the 80s.
Yeah, I had the stateside and then the overseas tour they called me in.
Right. I toured on the 60th anniversary tour in 2014. And what we did was we performed on military bases or theaters around military bases, stateside and abroad. And what was more important to us was the shows abroad.
Absolutely.
Especially when we were in our deployed wartime environments.
It's kind of hard to explain that feeling, but
Yeah.
when you've left everything that's ever been familiar to you, you will look at a post office like it's a church. Just to get one letter would change your entire month, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Hilarious.
That's interesting.
But they teach you how to do a show from the ground up.
Oh,
and
nice.
not just the vocal rehearsing, but choreography.
You're doing it.
Presence.
Wardrobe, everything.
building
You're doing
stages.
it. No, nobody puts that button on you for you. You put that button on.
Exactly.
So it teaches you from the ground up everything.
Our stage load was 64,000 pounds that we traveled with and set up ourselves from the ground
roadies.
up.
You're the roadie.
You set it up,
We
you
did
sing, you
that.
do everything.
We did that.
Wow.
And a lot of the days would be like, all right, let's go to the theater, set the stage up,
Exactly.
rehearse on that stage we
Yes,
just set up,
same stage.
do the show,
Yep.
tear it all down, load it back on the truck, and then go.
Yep.
We ended up having a lot of 20-hour days. And in the middle of that, you still had to perform.
And it wasn't on a bus like we're riding on now. Oh, it was on an old Eagle.
That's work. Wow. That's work.
You got fumes and
You put that work in though.
The head of Air Force Entertainment, Chief Edwards.
Yes.
That bus he made sure did not have a bathroom on it.
I know, man. This might sound strange to young folks, but every bus doesn't have a bathroom.
Right.
Y'all need to hear this.
Yeah, the young folks don't understand it. Right?
They need to know work ethic.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And we traveled with 40 people.
Yeah.
Right. And this it was two rows of seats on each side. Right. So what ended up happening was that the seats only had as much recline as an airplane, and then we put our feet across the aisle. Our feet would rest on the seat of the people across from us, so we could fall, so we could sleep on these long road trips. But yeah, that's an experience that
come on.
never have anywhere else.
All those ingredients led you to this spot right here.
And
That's funny. That's good.
when you came and talked to us in Las Vegas, when my tour ended up in Las Vegas, and you had said some very interesting stuff about how you can't pay for that experience.
Where are you going to get all that?
Right.
You can't.
Nowhere.
With people who have talent, who are willing to teach you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These guys came in. And the beauty of it, everybody was enlisted. Man. You're like, wow, we got all this talent in the military doing another job. And on the flip side, you got all this happening, and you don't realize how the morale is affected by the music. But when a grown man comes to you in tears, thanking you for one song he heard that reminded him of home, and that took him back home when you were in a place over in what we were talking about in Insular Turkey, where you need an armed guard on you just to go to the store or anywhere. Normal people, average people don't get that experience.
I had a guy 1 year later after I performed in Jordan who deployed again to another location, reach out to me to say, hey, when you sang Walking in Memphis, it changed the temperature of my deployment. He found something that he wanted to learn. He found something that he wanted to distract himself with. So he learned how to sing and play that song on guitar.
Nice.
It was, if it was only that guy, it meant everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You Vietnam vets all the time tell us, hey, look, man, this music brought me home.
The soundtrack of our lives. Music is the soundtrack of our lives.
That's right.
GC Cameron shared a similar story. Talked about being in the military. I'm sure you guys
were
shared
talking
stories
about that the other night also.
About being in the military.
Absolutely, man.
Wow.
I'm thinking about how the military prepared you for life. I know you grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, correct?
I was trying to get away from Alabama.
Really? My grandfather's from Dothan, so I think it's like 3 hours or so south. Yeah.
Kevin didn't know that.
My grandmother went to Tuskegee.
Yeah.
So there's and there's a certain amount of pride that people from the South, carry.
Absolutely.
And you're from Charlotte as
North
well.
Carolina,
Exactly.
before it became a city.
We got to talk after the show about Charlotte. Some questions. But how did grow up in the South? What kind of tools does that give both of you, kind of preparation for life?
That growing up in the South and seeing my father and my brother, I'm the youngest, seeing my father and my two brothers go through what they went through. I was telling a story with these guys the other night about an incident where a gentleman, young kid, had touched a wire. It was a building that shouldn't have power. It was on. He hit the wire, set this kid on fire. And I don't want to tell the story, but
I'm sorry.
It didn't come out well.
Okay.
And being black and being in the South, it told me, it said, you know what? To get out of here, you got to be better. You got to go over and above. And the military band came to my high school, and I didn't know that existed. And I saw that as a way out. And talking to Kyle, I was telling him about it. I said, I saw an Air Force band come to my high school, and I said, that's an actual job. I said, you can do that and be enlisted? I said, okay, that's what I want to do.
And it was talking with you because I was in a situation where I had graduated high school and college wasn't really on my horizon. My dad gave me that talk. You get a job or get out. So I did both. I joined the military, but it was because of you talking with you about Tops and Blue. I was like,
I remember that talk.
I chose the Air Force because of your influence.
Absolutely.
So I blame you.
It's all my fault. Blame
so
the dark skin dude in the room. That's right.
That's crazy because I chose the
I get
Air
it at
Force
home also.
and didn't get in.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I was going to join. I did everything but swear in. Everything. They were about to send me to Greece. Everything. I had a 4-ride scholarship in 3 different sports: baseball, football, and track.
You had a scholarship, but you would have
Everywhere.
But you wanted to join the military?
I wanted to join. My dream was to fly a jet. That was my dream as a kid. I thought singing was for girls because all the women in my family sung. Well, the men too, but the men were like pimps. So, you know.
Community outreach.
But I wanted to fly a jet because my mother used to take me to the Charlotte Douglas Airport. And I'd just sit on the roof of the car, watch the planes take off. And I was like, I want to do that. So when I got all these different scholarships, I was the only one in my whole family that had the opportunity to go to college.
Wow.
My mother lost her mind. All I did was tell the Air Force guy, whatever you do, don't come to the house. Don't call and don't come. I'll see you at school. He showed up. My grandmother was at the house, told my mom. My mother was like, what's going on? What? I was like, Mom, I don't want to go to college. She lost her mind. She was my best friend, so she stopped speaking to me for 2 weeks.
Oh.
I botched up college. I went through it, but that is where I got my voice.
Okay.
Because this young lady that I started dating, I would always go in the piano room. We had a piano area, and I'd go in at 4 o'clock in the morning. I just hit the piano and then hit the notes with my voice to the point where I could get way, way, way up. And then I started mixing it up to it, putting rhythm together vocally, and then I was like, okay. But my mother would always say I could sing because she'd hear me in the shower just belting out.
Right.
And so I got invited by this young lady. She dropped my name in a talent show. So I'm a ball player, so I'm tough. You know, I'm like, hey, I ain't singing. So it's a bunch of us. We end up going to this talent show because we thinking, we're going to see some girls up here singing. And the girl put my name in it. So when they called my name, of course, all the brothers was like, yo, what you gonna do? You got to get up there, man. And I'm like, I ain't going up there. Oh, you a little girl, man. So I had to go up, and the prize was $1,000. I won.
Nice.
All right.
So when I saw that money, when I cashed that check and saw all them bills, I said, wait a minute.
There you go.
Got something.
I can make some money without getting beat up.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hold up. Then I joined another time.
Get off that street corner.
Yes, sir. And I can charge a little more. But I went to another talent show, won that. And then they did, when the karaoke started, they had a talent show to where whoever wins gets $5,000 and gets to go to California to be on Star Search. I won that $5,000, but I punked out of going to California. To be on Star Search.
It was like, Dan, pull up YouTube, find Star Search.
All the talent that was on Star Search, I didn't think I was good. I didn't think personally I was good enough to do it. So then, unfortunately, I lost my scholarship for foolishness. And then while I was at home, I started singing with these 5 guys. This guy saw me on TV singing with these guys and said, I wrote a play called A Good Man Is Hard to Find. I want you to come and audition for it. Well, I went. He said, I'm only auditioning 10 people. I'm telling y'all, my life has been blessed. He said, I'm only auditioning 10 people. When I got to the audition, it was 11 people, and everybody was standing outside. I had a cold. I was number 11 in the rain. Everybody got umbrellas but me. The guy that was number 7 in line, he said, I don't know why I'm doing this. Take my spot. Go in there and win. I went in, won $1,000, and won the lead role in A Good Man's Hard to Find. 5 months after that, this is crazy, y'all. 5 months after that, I got my record deal with A&M Records.
Wow.
Where were we? What's the name of the place we went to? In Detroit. And Miller London was there. Miller London is the one that signed me. Miller London signed me to A&M Records. He's the first person I got a record deal with. Was with A&M Records. So we turn around and go to Detroit. Who do I see? Miller London.
Wow.
It was such a blessing. Then, crazy part, after that play, I auditioned for the Temptations series.
Miniseries.
Really? The miniseries.
Watch this.
Wow.
Terry didn't know that.
This.
No, I didn't.
Watch this. I got the part. I got the part for Eddie Kendricks.
Wow.
Got it.
Wow.
Jackie Brown was the casting agent. She quit because of this. This took place. I got the part. She called me jumping through hoops, told me I had it. Then she had to call me back. The producers wanted names. And that's what did it. That's what killed it for me. Now here we are, full circle.
Right.
Wow.
Full
Comes back
circle.
around. Yeah.
Come back around, and I'm a temptation.
And that's something. Congratulations on that. That's a heck of a story there,
story.
brother.
I'm telling you, man,
It's
it's a
got
blessing,
layers
bro.
too.
Yes.
It's a blessing.
Things are meant to be, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
In the interim between that, you joined As Yet.
I was a lead singer as yet. Yeah.
Can you explain that experience?
Yes. Weird.
Okay.
You were with them twice, right?
No, I was with him once.
Okay.
I was only with him once. I was with AY 2.0 after that.
Okay.
Well, following that, right after As Yet, then I started the group Blaze.
Okay.
Which was all lead singers of Blackstreet, As Yet, and Silk.
Okay.
I put them all in one group. But yeah, that experience with As Yet was difficult only because there was already turmoil when I walked into it between the group management and the label.
Right.
And then all of that mess that was going on. So, but the thing is, I never signed the deal.
Wow.
So I kind of was like a freelance.
Right.
So I ended up making all the money. Yeah. I ended up making all the money. And, you know, of course, when I had the opportunity to help out my brothers, but when I got wind that LaFace Records was going belly up, I got it before everybody. So when I made mention of it to the group, unfortunately, you know, they didn't hear it. And so when the label went belly up, I was already.
Were you there for You Were the Inspiration? That song?
Yeah. All of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Peter Katera, yeah.
Another 6 degrees of separation. You go from You're the Inspiration
Correct.
to Chicago.
Correct.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
That's incredible.
Crazy. Crazy. And this crazy part is Danny Seraphin, the original drummer, saw that video. He saw the video of You're the Inspiration with me singing on it.
Wow.
And was like, and when they reached out to me, he said, "Who's singing the top?" I said, "That's me." He was like, and this is crazy, Larry Braggs
Wow.
was part of that.
Wow.
really? I didn't know that.
Yes,
Okay.
Larry Braggs was part
It's
of that.
so connected.
It was
Everything's so
CTA.
connected. Yeah.
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
California, California Transit Authority, CTA.
Okay.
Because at that time, Tower of Power was reaching out to me. And then Larry said, "Go with Danny."
Okay.
Because I was doing theater at the same time too. And Tower of Power was doing 250 shows.
Right.
He's like, "You'll never do your theater if you doing that."
I was going to ask you about the acting. How'd the acting come into play? You started singing, but about the acting.
Yeah. So when I got into theater, it all played hand in hand. I had to sing and act. And I never took an acting class or a singing lesson. It's just gift. And so I ended up getting film and TV and all that stuff. And I met Tyler Perry when he was homeless. And he snuck backstage when I was doing this play called Why the Good Girls Like Bad Boys. And when he snuck backstage, he was so young. He was like, "Man, I'm up and coming playwright. I would love to work with you." I said, "Call me when you get it together." He's hooked up with Bishop T.D. Jakes, and they hired me for Woman Out Loose and Behind Closed Doors, and I've been working with him ever since.
How about My Brother Marvin? With that?
Oh, when I played Marvin Gaye?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's
you did that pride. You was rocking that Pride and Joy,
man,
brother.
That's Viola Gay, Marvin's sister, man. They hired me for that. And the crazy part is they didn't want me for that until they heard me singing.
Yeah, you got the voice.
They heard me singing and it was like, they were walking in the building like, "Who is that up there singing?" And the promoter was like, "That's the guy you don't want."
Reconsider.
Yeah. That was man. I absolutely loved doing that.
And you're a great actor. You said no training or nothing, just went and did it.
It's just
natural gifts,
Yeah. Well, you grow up in the country, ain't too much to do. So I learned how to figure it out. I was playing football with pine cones and all that kind of stuff. So you figure it out.
Well, you talked about Terry. You talked about Birmingham, Alabama, the home of Eddie Kendricks, Paul Williams, right?
Make it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Something in the water in Birmingham?
There's something happening down there. For
Yeah,
sure.
you learn how to create,
Amen.
Yeah.
And let me say this too. When we say that we didn't feel that we fit in or we were good enough, that's not a slight of a go against ourselves. That's a humbleness.
No, we understand.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
a humbleness of saying, "Hey, man, this is greatness. I haven't reached that yet." And as long as there's something to reach for, then you're always going to be hungry.
If I can get in the room,
Yeah,
I just want the opportunity.
that's it.
That's it.
And I always
go
look
from
at things like a piece of pie. If I get a piece of pie in a minute, I'm going to get 8 slices.
Yeah, absolutely.
That thing that Terry was talking about being in the studio before you were a Temptation and feeling like, why am I here? Or that kind of thing.
Wow,
It was like you and I have. I had that same experience when I was recording with you.
No, man.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you about this album.
Wow. Yeah.
Dr. Otis Williams presents Kyle Maack, Shaky Ground.
Stop it.
He does not want me to talk. I'm talking about this album. You're on a couple of songs you're on a song with Terry Weeks, All I Need. Tell us about that experience working with Kyle.
Come on, man. He's such
now,
a talent,
listen to Terry lie now. Here we go.
No. I recognize him. All you got to do is listen to him. You can see it. You can see it, man. Come on, man. You hear it. Crazy. You know it when you hear it. There's no mistaking it. And he's such a humble cat, man. And been knowing him forever, seems like.
I first met you when I was 14 years old.
I know. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. But going back to not feeling that, it's how do I put it? It's when you got all these things working against you. That's been my life though. People look at you and they size you up. And sometimes it's, he can do it. No, that little dude up. Him? That's the first thing. The little one is never a name. It's that little one or the short one. And that's my mentality. I just go in and just do the work. Just do the work. Just let the work speak for you. You know, the hype might not be there, but like Pops told me, he said, hey, look, they close their eyes. What they hear is what they're going to remember. That's real, right? He said, what they see, they can forget.
You talk about Charlie when you say Pops?
Yeah.
So he was there when you first got in the group.
Man, I've had such.
What was it like working under his tutelage, for the choreography?
It's like having
Charlie
a father
Atkins,
figure that is so talented that you don't question what he says. He's like, wow, man, it's unbelievable. And then when you see the work, I was so eager to just a sponge, just to try and just learn everything I can from this guy, because he's at 84 doing the routines better than we were. And he's teaching us the routines. Just like Pop said, move your ass, boy. You in Cleveland, move your ass. That was him.
And he choreographed everybody. Glass Night and the Pips, the Spinners, he did everybody.
Absolutely. And right now, if I saw a routine, I would know it from Pops because of the angles and how he does things. There was a young group he had worked with, and I called him. I said, Pop, I just saw this young group doing some choreography. I swear, it's yours. I know it's yours. And and it was a group that Heavy D had put out. Okay. And when he mentioned it, he said, yeah, that is my. I said, man, I knew it. I knew it when I saw the angles and everything. But he's such a genius, and just how I watched him put a routine together. I said, Pop, why do you? I said, Pop, you moving on the snare hit, and he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, and be quiet. I'm still working. I said, okay, I'm just trying to get as much as I can out of it. But he was such a genius with it, man.
You told me one time too. You had to be exact
with
it.
Absolutely,
you couldn't be like if it was supposed to be here.
No.
Every hand here can't be like this, not like this. All be like
don't
this.
stab at it. Do it.
That's right.
I showed you. Do it. That was him. But it shows in the routines now, man. It's like wow, pop stuff. And then Lon and then working with Mike Henderson, who's his understudy. I mean, I think I've worked with Mike more than any of the other choreographers, and it's such a blessing, man. Because this Temptations thing is far bigger than I had imagined.
You know what was great when I came to see you perform for the first time? You guys also did a lot of your new stuff. You did Selfish Reasons. It was a time when you were doing just as much new stuff as the older stuff. You did the older stuff, then you did all the new hits. I'm Here. It was great to see that on stage, and the place was packed. That was like a resurgence for the Temptations.
That was an opportunity, like I tell these guys. I hope we get that opportunity.
I would love to see that.
Oh man, I'm wishing for that. I'm hoping for it. I'm pushing for it. Anybody out there?
We all pushing for it. We want that new album, right? Come on,
absolutely.
Yes. I want another album from the Temptations with this lineup. Absolutely.
Was it a concerted effort to revert? Like maybe because you're recording less albums less frequently, but to focus more on classic music than contemporary?
The thing is we have to be careful because, the changes that come in were unpredictable. You don't know when it's going to hit. And like always said, you don't really know a person until after a few years and you find out what you're dealing with. But in that, for myself, man, just being a part of this group has been a double-edged sword. Just the mention of the name
was powerful.
Commands attention.
I think that, I wasn't there before COVID, but I think COVID changed a lot of things.
Everything.
It even changed the participation of the audiences because of, having to stay inside. I think the older crowd decided they were going to come out and enjoy life.
Okay.
So I think now, like with the Temptations, it's mixed. It's an older crowd, and it seems like the older crowd sits in the front, and the younger crowd sits more in the middle toward the back. So I think maybe that was part of, because Otis is so smart. Oh my
He
God.
is, yes.
I think that probably was part of the adjustment with the music, maybe,
Right.
because of the type of crowd that comes in now.
And he knows how to put together a show too.
my
Based on who's
God.
coming to see him. I'm amazed that you make the little changes and things that come about.
Knowing how to put together a show with a number of material that is we're still adding to. It's a constant study for myself. It's a constant study. You would think, he's like, man, do you know? Man, I don't know half.
Well, he brought back Glass House for a minute there too. Yo,
Yes,
rocking.
yes.
Oh, yo, I used to rock that.
Yeah,
That's the thing,
that was
is you
a
got
jam.
an endless array of stuff to choose from.
Right.
And it's we can go from 60s, 70s, 80s,
and the
90s.
90s, yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I only knew one song coming into the group.
That's right.
Are you
That's
serious?
My Girl.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I wasn't allowed to listen to R&B music coming in.
Oh, okay.
I was church boy.
Okay.
Straight church boy. So the first song I heard R&B was "Let's Get On" by Marvin Gaye.
Oh, wow.
First R&B song, and I snuck to hear that.
That's why I love what he's doing, because
I'm learning.
Okay.
That's it. You're learning it and you hear it. It stays with you.
I mean, I'll hear a record that they did, and I'll go, "God, who did this?"
Just like that the other day. He said, "Who is that?" I said, "That's us."
What has been the biggest thing besides personnel and maybe kneecaps? What has been the biggest change in 30 years?
Woo! Just realizing I've been here for that long,
Yeah.
because there was no way I could have planned this. Absolutely not. The longevity of it, and knowing that after, when I look back at the number of not only performing but recording also, which was a plus, because I didn't plan on that. I thought it would just be the live performances, but having the opportunity to record was such a plus, and it seals you in history, because you can't change that.
Not only an opportunity to record, but to record contemporary music that had hits. Your first 3 albums,
Right.
all nominated.
Right.
And
You
one,
can interject yourself into that.
you entered a group creating music that was nominated for Grammys, one of which won, and then intermittently kept on becoming nominated. I think the last nomination you guys had was for "How Sweet It Is" from Reflections. But I mean, it's got to be an incredible thing to realize that you contributed to the resurgence.
It's satisfying. It's absolutely satisfying to know that I did more than the live shows. I also had a chance to record and extend this legacy also. And man, I'm telling you, just looking over it, is such a lift.
You see him.
It's like a Red Bull. It's absolutely. It's just. It's like, come on, man, let's go do this. Let's go put another one under our belt and go out here. And the audience is the winner. And I must say this: the Four Tops, man. I love working with those guys.
They're great.
Those are our brothers, and they're doing a great job. And I just wanted to mention them in that also.
What was it like watching the Four Tops and looking over and seeing Theo as the lead singer of the Four Tops when you guys are doing Battle of the Groups?
That
must have been interesting, wasn't it? He was with you and he went with them.
It was like, okay. Now you're the enemy.
Right.
And there wasn't a lot of time between
No, it
that.
wasn't.
It was
No, it was like
there to there.
Felt like 2 weeks.
Now they're doing the Battle of the Groups. You're battling yourself.
But I must say, the guys, we all took it in. It's like, hey, look,
That's awesome.
look at it as a challenge. And again, the audience is the winner.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Then you had Stay, This Is My Promise. I mean,
know,
all
I
these
know,
big
I know,
hits come. I mean, just incredible.
The crazy part was, it took a few years, but we finally had a chance to do This Is My Promise with Theo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
had never performed it.
Right.
He recorded it,
Right.
but we never performed it. And we did a few years later have the chance to perform
Performing with him. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and I
awesome.
was like, man, good. I said, I was hoping for that.
I'm a little sad as a fan that I'm Here as the last music video that you guys did.
Yeah. And that's a slamming video, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
You
the
know
last
what?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you mentioned
We
it.
don't really do videos anymore.
Yeah.
Like short movies.
Yeah,
It's an excellent video, though. It's
But you had
well done.
said something before about it was they hosed down the street and the rats came out.
LA.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
What
I
happened?
thought I had saw a rat before. This was not a rat. It was a small dog. and they're just everywhere running around. We're like, yo, how long we got to shoot this? Downtown LA, I saw it at night. Oh, man, you think they're little dogs walking around, but they're acting like, my God. Let's hurry up and shoot this and get out of here.
Oh, I mean, the rats in North Philly ain't no joke either. If you would have spent some
Really?
time out there, yeah.
Oh, man.
So, Terry, what was it like performing on the world's biggest stage? Talking about the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles won the Super Bowl that time.
No,
okay.
Not that year, Jay.
What was that like, though?
Yo, Tim, it was.
That must have been incredible.
Oh, man, a rush. It was a total rush.
Yeah.
And it's like 15 minutes of just,
Mhm.
but everybody had a certain thing to do, a certain place to be, and it happened.
Right.
It came up. I just recently watched that a few months ago, and I was still in awe because my son had never seen this.
We were so proud of your brother up there. You were doing the 4 top songs too as well.
Right.
You know?
And
Nice.
the crazy
Yeah.
part, how that came about is the night before Levi's brother had passed away.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he had to leave and get out of town. That's how that happened.
Okay.
Okay, I was going to ask because that wasn't planned.
No, it wasn't.
No.
No, it wasn't.
Wow.
But there again, God's work.
Yeah,
You know,
it was incredible.
absolutely.
Well, gave you an opportunity to sing lead during the Super Bowl. Yeah, which is awesome. Is there any plans for you guys to record soon?
We're in the
He
works
just
of
mentioned it.
we're
Working it?
I will.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask a question I'm not supposed to ask, but
I know.
yeah.
Oh, but we're putting it out there now.
Okay, we're working on it.
But yes,
Because I mean, you guys are still performing Yes or No from Temptation 60, which is a great song. Also a very different lineup who recorded that album.
there again,
Yeah.
you would think all these changes would be a detriment to you, but the mention of that name is much stronger.
It's strong.
Yeah.
Much stronger.
It's so funny. It's funny you say that. I'm always thinking 10 years. I give myself that. I think 10 years down the road. So my mindset, I was thinking, and I said, man, okay, if Mr. Otis decides to retire, how do we keep going?
Yeah.
How do you keep going and they not call you a cover band?
Right.
Because he's the last original member. And I was talking to Ron about it. And then Ron said something that was so powerful for me that I just said, okay, I back up. Ron said, well, the name is going to outlive us all. The music is going to outlive us all.
Yes.
True.
They come to hear the music.
Absolutely.
The music will sustain the group even after we're all long gone. I was like, yo. I said, you're right, brother. You're right. I said, okay, I'm good now. Let's roll.
And Terry just mentioned the 4 tops. And last night you had 4
Prime
4
example.
And they killed.
Yeah,
Man.
absolutely.
And,
man.
and like you said, the people came to hear the music.
The music.
And the same thing with the Spinners.
Right,
It's the
right.
same class, yeah.
If you respect this music and present it as authentically as you possibly can, your audience responds to it. Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, unlike I guess some other groups, the Temptations, whenever that moment happens, the Temptations will have the luxury of having 2 members who have been in for so long that it legitimizes everything. Ron has been in for over 40 years at this point,
never thought
and
of
you're
it.
neering 30.
Right. I
It's
didn't
like
think about
you've
that, but that's true.
been in the group, Terry, now than a
Third longest or something?
third, yeah. Aside from probably Otis and Ron.
Ron, yeah.
Third or fourth, something like that.
You guys are throwing stuff at me. I never even thought.
And as a unit, you've been together a long time.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
you guys.
Yeah, but my focus is the next show. The next show, getting better, getting in rehearsal, fine tuning and stuff, and making it, because that's his legacy. It's my legacy,
Right.
individually and collective.
Thinking about the start of your careers to where you are now as Temps, how did the expectation of stardom or fame compared to what the reality is actually right now?
I've never thought about it. I like I said, I want to fly a jet, man. That's it. So I never thought about stardom or all of that. I mean, my brothers really turned on a light bulb for me when we were in Columbia, South Carolina, and they came to see the Temptations rather. And then we were sitting outside in my brother's truck, and I was sitting in the back seat, and my youngest brother turned around and said, dude, do do you understand what this is right now? You just became legendary. And I just looked at him. He's like, dude, you're in the history books now.
Yeah.
Just like
And
that.
and at that time I was praying, I had been praying to God about a legacy for my children. And then I mentioned it to him. He said, well, there it is. You just did it. He said, I'm so proud of you. He said, I never would have dreamed that my brother, little country boy, would come out here and now you're singing with this group that I listened to and our parents listened to and probably our grandparents listened to. I said, man, and that's when it kind of, it hit me and I got emotional about it for the first time in my life because I've been blessed to be successful at everything I've ever touched, but never reached that level. You know what I'm saying? Because when doing theater and acting and all that kind of people, I've heard people say all the time, oh my God, man, why you ain't up there with Denzel and them? Why you ain't this? What is, I'm hitting this. I could never give them an answer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've worked with Dr. Dre, working with Tyler and Oprah and Babyface, L.A. Reid, all that top-notch people and not reach that pinnacle. But God in his infinite wisdom ordained me to reach this situation because this is how I look at it. The Temptations is a huge part of ministry.
Yeah.
Because they bless people's lives.
Yes, they do.
They don't tear them down. They build. So
Nothing but
It's
quality.
so funny that you said that because Bruce Williamson Jr. was one of my best friends.
My godfather.
He almost said the exact same thing you just said.
wow.
It's
The form of ministry.
Form of ministry.
He has said that to me. It's crazy. You
But
just
think
said
about how many shows you can bring your entire family to.
Exactly.
Grandma, you ain't gotta leave grandma at home.
Children.
No, bring everybody. Kids too.
Them babies be on the front row.
Oh yeah.
Knowing it,
We grabbed one the other night, put him up on
That's
stage.
right. You sure did.
I want to share a personal story about when I saw you guys on Thursday in Wilmington. It was so inspiring. And Thursday, you guys had it was the previous night. Ron, for whatever reason, he couldn't do the show.
Right.
And when you guys did the show the next night in Wilmington, Ron said to the audience, he probably didn't even have to, but he did, and he said, "You got to excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a bit under the weather, but the show must go on.
I'm here."
And Ron proceeded to be awe-inspiring that entire night.
God.
And I said to him after the show, I'm like, Ron, you're impressive.
Oh my gosh.
You are impressive.
We had a moment
Dude, we had a moment.
after that show in the dressing room. It
Moment.
was spiritual, bro.
Bro,
It,
so
it was
I wanted to cry.
all love. We all cried.
God. When I looked at him and I said, God, I apologize
Yes.
for ever complaining. Because for him to come from a bed to the stage
What,
and
12 hours?
kill it, killed it, pushing through. I know he was in some pain and he pushed through. And of course, then for Otis to surpass what his emotion was, because he's experienced a lot of loss.
Right.
So of course, I'm sure when Ron took ill, his mind went to, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we were trying to encourage him, keep him lifted. But let me tell you something. This cat right here, this one right here,
Terry.
is bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Bananas, man. Stepped in, hitting all the Ron's notes, and I was like, wait a minute.
Whatever the party calls for, it's required.
Can you speak on that? Because, Terry, more than one instance, you've been that utility guy.
Oh, well, that was my name, utility.
Because
So you have to learn the whole show then.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
You-
And that's how I learned.
Everybody's
stuff. I
move.
try and learn everything everybody else does. Just
When-
like a quarterback.
before Tony came in, and there's been other instances where, maybe other folks
Right,
have had another obligation, they couldn't do a show, or you were in search for a new lead singer, or Ron is sick. You have stepped in for the roles of multiple different people who were not there.
Yeah. Well, that's part of what we were talking about. Excuse me. That in doing this show, you almost got to be 10 different people on any given night. Every night. This man has to be so many different people. He's
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
a lot of times your audience doesn't realize it. They don't care either. But I see it, and I know the talent it takes to pull that off.
Yeah.
Night after night, like I say, one night, okay, they were great last night, but the rest of the week they were okay. every night is a challenge.
Yeah.
And that's the way we look at it. We go at it with a challenge. It's like, look, man, look, we don't know who's out there that's never seen the Temps.
Right.
This may be their first iteration of ever seeing or hearing about the Temps. We got to get them on board.
Well, that's the thing that a lot of even local bands don't understand is that the music business, and especially in the live performance area, is not the music business.
Right.
It's the memory making business.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
what your job there is to create a memory
Yes.
that lasts a lifetime. And some folks don't get it.
No.
Yeah.
It's a lot of folks think about the entertainment industry and what it can do for them.
Yeah.
And not what it does for other people.
Absolutely.
And it's very much the wrong way to go about it. Because especially if you're making the audience feel good, then that gives you all you need.
Yeah.
And my approach to it is when I look around the stage and think about other cats that came before me, nobody came looking for me. Okay, I'm a walk on. So I feel like I gotta prove myself every night, still to this day, because I was a walk on. You know, I didn't go through an audition. I'm here because that guy said I'm here. Okay, that pressure is on me every night because I don't want to make him look bad.
Disappoint him.
You know, I don't even think about myself. I don't.
I don't either.
Not even about me.
When I first got in the group, my first question was, I can't be them.
Right.
He said, I don't want David. I don't want
Exactly.
Ollie. And Ollie and I were best of friends. He said, but I don't want them. He saw me on the videotape after the lady introduced us. He saw me singing a song by Major called This Is Why I Love You.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He said, I want that. That's you. I want you. He said, do you? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do me, but I'm going to stay in the lane of Motown.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to step out and do theater Motown as far as vocal. But as far as acting performance, I try to put theater all in it.
Well, now I want to hear you sing Major. That's an incredible song.
You got to go look at that video.
I'm gonna go
brother.
find it.
Oh, we got some. There's some things coming down.
Yeah.
We got some things happening.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
What is as you guys get older, what does it take for you to maintain your talent? What's that?
I go to bed.
You go to bed, sleep,
That's good.
Health.
health.
Health is everything.
Totally.
It's everything.
Totally.
We just experienced that a few nights ago. It's everything.
Got to get
Without
that
it,
rest, you know.
Right. Without it, can't do this.
How difficult is that when you're on the road all the time? You're on buses and hotel rooms at 9:00 in the morning.
We lean on one another.
Yeah.
You know, because I was, hey, bro, hey, that's a little too much sugar. That's 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, you'll get somebody make a comment, you got yourself a starter kit.
We just talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
My girl started calling me sweet potato.
But when that stuff is tailored, you don't know until, I better push it away. Man.
Yeah, man. Man, look. And I done busted open a few pants, so that made me back on up.
Oh, man. So we have something, by the way, for Tony.
Yes, that's a present.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Oh, we got presents.
We should
Okay.
get this on camera.
Goodness.
Here we go.
Pro shop.
Yes, I did
Thank
this.
you.
The Eagles Pro Shop. I went
Yes.
to them.
Oh my gosh. Thank
And
you.
I
Got some gifts for you, Tony.
Oh, this is great. Hold up.
You take it out,
I said I
yeah.
was going.
You didn't put a lighter in there.
No. I told him I would wear a jersey. So let me get my finger here. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, see?
I'm wearing it on my pinky finger. You didn't specify where to wear it. So
This guy.
I'm gonna wear it on my pinky finger. This is great, man. No, I love this. This is all
Yes.
gifts. This is gifts. Thank you.
And that's a local hero, Hassan Reddick from Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yes.
Man, I accept all gifts, Ron. No, I'm not gonna give it to Ron. Ron is diehard.
He might take it from you.
He's diehard Philly. Diehard Philly.
What else
This
in
is
there?
great, man.
Some more stuff in that bag?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, man, I got it. Look, come on.
Woo! Gear, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they gave me a little Eagle football. I'm gonna put a star all on top of that.
Listen to this.
Sir. Oh, yes, sir. I'm gonna put a star all up on top of
Like the
that.
Sharpies, man.
Oh, man, you didn't have to spend all your money like that. You got the receipt? I got it. Oh, this is great. This is great. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna drink all my liquor out of this.
Yeah, I figured that's
don't drink my liquor out of this.
I got one for myself.
This is what happens when Dallas beats Philly. I get toe up.
So this is becoming the most expensive joke.
I knew I was waiting.
And I got your picture of a real quarterback.
Oh my gosh, Jalen, you hurt. Oh, that's terrible. Y'all, he should have never. You shouldn't have done that.
No, man.
He's hurt. The guy holding the ball.
In front of
It hurt. Yeah. Okay, that works. This is great. Thank you, man.
So
this is beautiful.
for the viewers and listeners who are confused,
right.
a couple months ago, they were playing in North Jersey. I forget, was it Morristown?
Bergen Pack.
Bergen Pack. Okay, and I don't know what you guys were talking about football some way,
Yes.
but then Tony, who came in every Cowboys garb he could ever put on, hat, pants, jacket, he threw the jacket onto Kev against his will.
Yes.
And we got the evidence.
Videoed it. Took a picture.
We got the evidence on social media. But
Now I'm about to post it for real. I'm about to post it for real.
And then you made me sing into the phone the
I
other
sure
day.
did. Yes, sir.
And then
Did you get the pictures, Julian? We're going to post all this.
All of that. Get all that right. Yeah, this is great, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And I got Krispy Kreme donuts out of it.
you did.
I'm good.
take whatever you want.
The only Krispy Kreme in South Jersey, but I know where it's at.
What? Really?
So yeah.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I know where to come back to when I get back.
We were in Europe and stopped at a truck stop, and they had Krispy Kreme.
No way.
Yes, they did. Yes, sir.
I was
Sure
like,
did.
where are we, man?
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme's made it over here.
That's like having a Wawa in Florida,
yeah.
Which they have.
which they do, which is
Wow.
awesome.
All right, let's
Yeah.
wrap it up, folks, and let's thank the Temptations for coming down here. Grammy Award-winning recording artist, Mr. Terry Weeks.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Actor, singer, and recording artist, Mr. Tony Grant,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
The Temptations are in the building.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming down and joining us here on the R&B Showcase. We definitely appreciate you sharing such history and
Yes, sir.
your inception
Always.
to the group. Thank you so much for being here. I want to thank our co-host, Julian Seward,
Always a pleasure, Tim.
Kyle Maack,
Yeah, thank you.
Kevin White,
Always a pleasure.
our producer, Mr. Daniel Kane. And thank you for joining us for R&B Showcase Live.